Asked about how joint practices might go.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play. Our starters are going to play. We're going to play in all 3 preseason games. That's just like we did last year, similar process.
In Major League Soccer, Nashville SC is loaning young midfielder Matthew Corcoran. Corcoran was brought in from the Birmingham Legion and is now being loaned out to Rhode Island in the USL. Back to football, Jerry Jones is still optimistic in signing star edge rusher Micah Parsons after saying his deal can be done without signing any paperwork. Tonight, tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball as they continue their home series versus the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Coverage starts at 6:20 on 94.9 The Fan.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Start your engines, Nashville. It's the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix, roaring into Labor Day weekend at Nashville Super Speedway. 2 days of nonstop action, including high-stakes qualifying Saturday and the NTT IndyCar Series Championship race on Sunday, with cars hitting speeds over 200 miles per hour. Adult tickets start at just $70, and kids 12 and under are only $10. But hurry, the best seats are going fast. Get yours now at MusicCityGP.com. That's MusicCityGP.com.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is a beautiful Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee. It's 88 degrees at the moment, which is a bunch better than, say, 93. It's amazing what a 5-degree difference can make in how you feel. And the good news is it looks like it's going to stay this way for about the next week. And so we're happy about that. Got a good show planned for you today. From the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, we go to Murfreesboro and say hello to Kelly Holcomb. Hello, Kelly.
Hello, George. What's up?
Well, I'm doing good. I hope you are.
I'm fine, man. Grandson was over today. I'm good. Everybody's good.
Okay. I was up early this morning.
I always get up early, man. I can't even tell you my morning routine, but I get up
really early.
Well, I mean, I usually get up around, I've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I get up at 4:45. Now this morning the sun wasn't out. I slept in. So
good move. So spoke to the Franklin Rotary Club this morning. Ron Bargatze and I did. Enjoyed it.
I bet that was fascinating.
It was. They asked questions about Paul Houlihan, and I wasn't all that truthful. I didn't think it was the time or the place. So what's going on there? Anything?
Not much, man. Did Coach B stay awake, man? Was he awake? Was he involved? He was focused. He was good.
Was very focused. He had an interesting intro of me, and we'll leave that to the people at the Franklin Rotary.
We can't hear it. We can't hear the intro.
No.
No good. It was funny. Was it good?
It was pretty good. It was very good.
Nice.
We move on, however, to our daily Titans update. Billy, say hello before we.
Hello.
Yeah, that's
young William.
Young William. Terry McCormick in his Sounds hat is despondent at this point. His Yankees have fallen apart. However, the good news is they're up 2-1 in Texas in the bottom of the 5th inning as they attempt not to get swept.
I'm sure our bullpen will have a say in it before things are done. I've lost complete and total faith in this team.
So, as you know, Terry, when a pitcher is designated for assignment, that means that the team that's trying to dump him has 10 days to either trade him, I think, or release him. You have the opportunity right now, if you so desire, to pick up Enyel.
Enyel.
Yeah.
What
do you say?
It couldn't be any worse than some of the bums we're trotting out there these days.
And
Yeah.
Devin Williams is just completely broken. He's just
That has shocked me.
Pete Alonso broke him last year in the playoffs, and I'd just as soon have a middle infielder out there pitching in a mop-up situation.
Wow. Feels like one changeup too many, and they know it's coming.
Yeah.
But for years, he was very successful with it.
That does me no good.
Not right now. So, okay. Titans are in the air right now on the way to Tampa. Let's talk about what will go on down there besides the game on Saturday.
Okay. First of all, let's talk about practice this morning. Titans practiced this morning and actually looked pretty good on offense. Cam Ward had nice command of the team in the 2 minute, looked good in the pocket, moving around, and led them to a touchdown drive against the defense. So I think for those who've been, wondering when Cam Ward was going to make some strides, today looked pretty good. Now, I caution you, it's still up and down with a rookie quarterback. And then you're going to see the next step when they do this joint practice tomorrow with the Tampa Bay Bucks, because they're going to get a test from the Bucks defense, and the Titans defense is going to get a test from Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans like they've not seen thus far in camp. Because, at least on paper, right now, Tampa is a far superior team to what the Titans are putting out there. So it's going to be a good measuring stick for both sides of the football.
I would assume, unless the coaches agree otherwise, that Tampa will turn the kitchen sink loose on Cam Ward because they're a team under Todd Bowles that blitzes a ton.
Yeah, they do. And then they've got a very stout defensive line with the likes of Vita Vea and, a pretty good front seven. They don't mind turning up the pressure and dialing up some heat, so to speak. And they're going to throw what they can at Cam Ward. And I think that's probably a good test for him because he may see something similar when the Denver Broncos come calling in the opener, because that's another really strong defense that they're going to be taking on at the start of the regular season. So everything he can see now should only help him get ready for what he's going to see when the season starts.
What do we think Vita Vea weighs?
Good question. Not as much as this guy that they only let walk around the practice field. Have you seen this guy?
No, tell me about it.
I forget his name, but he weighs about 450 pounds, and he's been told to do cardio and get in better shape, or they won't let him practice.
This is with the Titans.
No, this is with the Bucks.
No, the Bucks.
Oh, really?
He's talking about Desmond Watson, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep. Yeah, Kelly and I were texting about that the other day. He's 450 right now.
There's nothing healthy about that.
No, and at some point you can't worry about football. You got to worry about your health and your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Todd Bowles and the coaching staff and the organization's trying to do. I mean, at some point you got to get it through your head. You can't just eat any and everything.
Yeah, the late night trips to Wendy's are over for him if he wants to play in the league.
Nah, and
Correct.
you can't eat a goalpost.
It doesn't work.
Okay, so Terry, what else?
Well, I touched on it just a minute ago, but to me, we've been seeing the defense of the Titans kind of have the upper hand on Cam Ward in the offense for most of camp. But, there's still questions about edge rusher. They signed Quandre Diggs to play safety yesterday. So they're still piecing this thing together to see what it's going to look like on the defensive side of the ball. I got a feeling that, the Bucks offensive line may give them some problems, and Baker Mayfield is, could just pick them apart because he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, and he's got one of the best receivers in the league in Mike Evans. I don't think Chris Godwin's going to play, but they've got Emeka Egbuka, the first-round pick, that is also going to add to that arsenal that the Bucks have. This is a Bucks team that if everything fell right and something happened to the Eagles and the Lions in the NFC, that they could be right there in the mix before all is said and done, I think, this year, if things fall right for them.
they feel like anywhere from the third best team in the NFC down to about 6.
Yeah.
But they're definitely up in that higher echelon stuff. So
and they have the advantage of playing in a not very good division. They are, at least on paper, by far the best team in that division. So it should make, they should be able to stack wins a lot easier than, say, the teams in the NFC North and the NFC East, because, there are 2 or 3 contenders in each of those divisions.
Okay, good stuff. Good hat. Bad bullpen.
Bad bullpen.
Really bad bullpen. Like I have any room to talk.
Yeah.
And yell. Go sign him.
Ugh.
See you, Terry.
See ya.
By the way, I'm dubbing our little promotion at Sports and Social in Green Hills Football Night in Nashville. Now, you can see that this promotion essentially is supposed to begin Thursday night, September the 4th. However, just to confuse you, we're going to do one Saturday night around the Titans preseason game in Tampa. If you have never been to Sports and Social, the best television setup you have ever seen, period. Looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. Great food, and we're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of prizes to give away, pop-a-shot contest, trivia questions. We're going to have some fun. If you want to be a part of it Saturday night, and you do, then email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Tell me I need a table and how many people you need, and I'll reserve you a table. How about that?
Yeah, that is the best TV setup, by the way.
It is. Very much so. And while that's a good picture, it doesn't do justice to exactly what it is. But by Saturday, you'll know.
You will.
Yeah. So would it be update time?
It is update time.
Is there anything in the update worth updating?
Oh, it's all worth it today.
Yeah.
I like today's update a lot. It is brought to you by Tennessee and Illinois. Coming up December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Speaking of Bridgestone Arena, the Predators will start their preseason schedule in a little over a month. They will play the Florida Panthers on September the 21st. But the little nugget start the show today. On this day in 1997, the Predators named Barry Trotz as their first head coach and then played their first game in 1998.
And it was on this day that he came and did his first interview in Nashville.
What did he say to you?
Well, he looked at me and gave me the "who the hell are you" look. And I looked at him and sort of gave him, "Who the hell are you?" We were at training camp at Tennessee State. Very warm. That's what I remember.
Oh, Barry, obviously that's crazy now. Full circle. He's now, of course, the general manager of the Preds. Some NFL news. Jerry Jones is not confident that Micah Parsons will be available for the season opener against the Eagles. When asked if he believes Parsons will be with the team to begin the season, he said, no, absolutely not. A big part of that is his decision. How would I know that? Parsons, of course, made a trade request on Friday, and since then, Jones hasn't spoken with Parsons, and there have been no discussions between the team and Parsons' agent.
And I'll admit, I don't get what's going on. Jerry Jones, he's made a lot of money over the years. So under the category of, at some point, he's been a very smart businessman. More and more in the last 3 or 4 years, he looks like an old goat who doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yep.
I mean, it's obviously all about money, but like that, Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the league. Like that's what they call leverage. I can remember talking about leverage with my agent. He's got the leverage, and you have got to get that young man on the field because he's the best at what he does.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, isn't this going to run out on Jerry Jones if you keep doing this with talented players?
I don't know.
Elsewhere in the NFL, Mike Vrabel, Patriots head coach, came up bloodied after jumping into a practice scrum today, to no surprise. He jumped into a pile of players during today's joint practice with the Commanders and came out with a bloodied cheek. But after practice, Drake May was asked about it. He said, "That's what we're trying to build. It all starts with the head coach, intensity, bringing it every day, taking no crap when we're out there on the field. That mentality, I like it. That's what you want." So Vrabel's culture taking an early hold there in New England. Also, how about this piece? Roger Goodell this morning on SportsCenter hinted at a college football version of RedZone, NFL RedZone. Of course, the ESPN NFL deal was massive. Alex and I talked about that on Friday in the update. When asked about the future of NFL RedZone on SportsCenter this morning, he said it'll continue to be produced right here in this building. It'll be the NFL RedZone. I don't think fans will see any difference in that. Obviously, in the context of that, though, ESPN purchased the RedZone name, and they will be able to utilize that for other sports, college football, and other things. I don't know how much y'all watch RedZone. I do.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, to have that in college football, that's been long overdue, something like that.
Well, but it's a lot harder because you've got basically like 40 games going on.
That's right. You probably would pick 20 different games each week, maybe.
Yeah, I'd have to think about
that. That's a good point.
How hard would that be to do? In a related note, Roger the Dodger makes $44 million a year.
Good for
Stop
Roger.
hating, George.
Do what?
Stop hating.
That's not hate. It's a fact.
Cash cow, man. Cash cow. I told you that's why we've got the Players Association of a chocolate eclair, because everybody's on the bandwagon right now.
Yeah. $44 million. Could he live on 5?
Couldn't he live on 3?
Thought, but wow. I mean, does that seem a little excessive?
It does.
Sure it does.
But it's a cash cow, like Kelly said.
$44 million.
Speaking of the
great
NFL,
work if you can get it.
We do have new details in the ESPN NFL agreement. No more Monday Night Football doubleheaders. Thank goodness. So we won't have to deal with that. ESPN and NFL Network will get standalone windows for 28 combined games, and 4 NFL games are ready to hit the open market. So
when you say 28, a bunch of those are preseason games?
That's a good question.
I think they are.
You might be right there. So
Really?
not as many.
Yeah, NFL Network shows a bunch of preseason games.
Yeah.
Beginning tomorrow night, they got a doubleheader, and so I'm guessing about 3/4 of that number are preseason games. The others are late in the season on Saturdays in December, for the most part.
So yeah, the ESPN, this deal, I don't think we haven't talked about it enough. Of course, it was on a Friday news dump last week. The headline of the deal is that ESPN is acquiring NFL Network, NFL Fantasy, and RedZone channel in exchange for a 10% stake that the NFL will now take in ESPN. Reports estimate that stake could be between $2.5 billion and $3 billion.
Yeah. Wow.
Cash cow.
Yeah.
Speaking of cash cow, Danny White, Tennessee's AD, tweeted out, said, Vol Nation continues to lead the way as the best fan base in all of sports. They have sold out every home game this season at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
It is a very impressive fan base. And, he's kind of been the recipient of a lot of good fortune, some of which he's hired, some of which predecessors have hired. They got a lot of things going on that are right now up there.
That's a fan base that makes it easy.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Okay. After the break, the hardest working man in Nashville sports, that would be Mike Organ from the Tennessean, will join us later in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about the Pac-12. Now, is it really 12? No. Best as I can tell, they're still using that moniker. But what is that conference out west, and what is their future? We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to open up the phones around 425. Get ready. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnie Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnie have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnieTimmons.com.
At Wilson Bank & Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank & Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
George, we understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back here on the show. Beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Temperature's not all that bad at 88 degrees. And we welcome to our microphones the hardest working man in Nashville sports. That's Mike Organ from the Tennessean. Mike, how you doing?
I'm hard at it, George. How you doing?
I'm good. So you texted us earlier today And I know it sounds simple when people hear it, but it's not. You were part of a group that picked the 50 best athletes from Nashville, Tennessee of all time. Talk to me about that process.
It was a difficult process that almost came to fisticuffs, George. I'll just, letting you know that full transparency, it was tough, and we got into some brawls during the selection, and it took us a while, but we finally came up with 50. Here's what we did different from what I have done over the last 3 years in naming. I named the all-decade teams going back to 1960 for football and high school boys and girls basketball. And I did them position by position. So that was my toughest thing, was settling on the best quarterback, the best running backs, two of them, best wide receivers, and that kind of thing. That was hard enough. What we did with this 50, and I didn't know until I got in the room, was not only did we select 50, then we ranked them. The ranking takes it to a whole other level, George, as I'm sure you can imagine. You can throw out 50 and, everybody will say, oh, well, an argument can be made for this or that. But when you rank them, that's where you really start touching a nerve and sparking conversation, which, of course, is what you're trying to do with all of these type of teams, because there's no way to, absolutely claim it, but you throw it out there and get people talking about it over the water cooler.
So, Mike, was this a Tennessean deal?
Yes. Paul Scarbina took the project on, and Paul is relatively new. He came to us 6 or 7 years ago as the Predators beat writer. Now he's the Enterprise writer. So he looks for things like this, but he knew his limitations and that he needed some help from some longtime guys. So he enlisted myself, who celebrated my 40th year at Tennessee 2 days ago, or yesterday.
Right.
I'm sorry, yesterday. Cecil Joyce, who has been at the in Gannett locally, at Gallatin, Murfreesboro, and of course connected to the Tennessean for 34 years. And then Tom Krieger, who's been around for about 25 years and is now the sports editor of the Tennessean. And we sat down in a room and we hammered it out. And yeah, it's a Tennessean thing. And Paul started unveiling it, I believe, on Monday. And what he did, the first day, he did the 50 through 40 players. And then yesterday, he had 30 through 40. And today, he's got 20 through 30. So we're up to 20 through 50 at this time. And I guess by the end of the week, he'll have the full list of 1 through 50.
Are you willing to tell me, because I got one in mind, who the best athlete you all say ever came out of Nashville?
Well, I can say who I voted for.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It'd probably be the same person you did, since you and I have kind of our careers are paralleled, close to the same age. Wilma Rudolph is who I
I like that.
Oh, so it's different from yours then. Okay. Yeah. And I guess, over the last few years since I picked up Tennessee State as one of the many beats that I cover, then that has kind of, made Wilma's accomplishments that more relevant to me, because for one thing, I see a statue of her every time I go over there. There's a statue of Wilma at the it's kind of a statue. It's made out of copper, silver, and brass. Copper, silver, and gold. It's not true gold, but that's what the metals are, those colors. And it sits at the base of the what would that be? The east end zone of the football field at Hill Stadium, and it's huge, and you can't miss it. So, and of course, I remember what Wilma did. So Wilma's mine. Who would yours be?
Okay, so here are 2 or 3 that hit me right off the bat. Remember, I have not sat down to do this exercise.
Yes.
Ron Mercer was a name that came to mind that's probably in the top 10.
I agree with that. I remember the discussion on him. Let me make sure he's not already. I've got it in front of me right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have it. It's not in listicle. It's got a paragraph on each one of them. Yeah, Ron has not come up yet, which means that if he's on this list, he's in the top 20.
Clyde Lee should be there somewhere.
Hey, let me backtrack. Like I said, I have to scroll through here. Ron Mercer's number 23 on this list.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one that a lot of people.
Do what?
Go ahead, Mike. My next one was Clyde Lee.
I was just going to say, two-time Mr. Basketball of Tennessee at Goodpasture before transferring to Oak Hill Academy, a prep school in Virginia where he was a McDonald's All-American. Let me say that, George. The fact that Ron transferred for his senior year, I think hurts him in some people's minds. It's hard to explain because I don't think it hurts Ron Slay, who did the same thing, but I do think that it hurt with Ron Mercer because I just think some feelings were hurt back then. Everybody had so enjoyed watching Ron Mercer play and were waiting to see, if Goodpasture could win a state championship. And for him to transfer, I think hurts some feelings. And I think that hurts Ron on some of these lists like this. So anyway, go ahead.
Where'd Lou Graham end up?
I got to think Lou's in the top 10. He's not in this list. Let me see. He may be in this list so far because I do remember him. There's Lou, number 26. So he's 3 behind Ron Mercer.
Wow. So,
but you know what though, George? Think about this. Lou only won 10, and I love Lou. And Lou's accomplishments are great. To win the state open was great, but I think Lou only won maybe 10
PGA Tour events.
Yeah, you remember he kind of shocked the world when he won the Open because he was, I don't want to say not a no name, but he was, he wasn't on that quite on that. That was a surprise for him to win that.
And 2 years later, he almost did it again in 77. So let me ask you this. Are you allowed to tell me who your top 10 were? Because
I do not remember. I would. Let me think off the top of my head. It's this thing. We did it a while back. We did it early summer. And after we did it, Paul was then tasked with writing little short vignettes on each one. So it's been a process and getting all the artwork together and trying to collect some old videos and stuff. So it has been 2 months since we did this. Off the top of my head, I want to say Wilma, Tracy, Calkins.
Yep.
Who else? EJ Jr.
Yes, from Maplewood.
From Maplewood, probably the greatest high school football player to ever come from him. John Henderson, who would be right behind EJ in my mind, football player.
Right.
Huh?
How about Mike Wright?
I know I pitched the case for Mike Wright because nobody else was aware of him, and I believe he made the list. But I wouldn't put him in my top 10, but I'd put him in my top 15.
Gotcha.
Simply because some of this, George, had to do with what they went on to do afterward. This was not my list for the football teams were based purely on what they did in high school. And then if there was a tie, the tiebreaker was what they did on the next level. This list includes what they did on the next level and on the top level, because this is not a high school list or a college list or professional list. This is the greatest athletes to ever come from Nashville. So for Mike, who could have played football or baseball, in my mind, but tried to do both, that probably hurt him a little bit with that criteria.
So I think if we haven't done anything else, you can kind of see how difficult this thing would be, especially if you do it with no notes and you're just trying to go on memory. you can end up looking like a complete fool. I'm going to ask you. Go ahead.
What I was going to say, George, is you and I have moved on to a level now where people come to us asking for information. When I started on old timers like this, when I started this process, Jimmy Davey was still alive. Joe Biddle was still alive. Hope Hines, I got in touch with. Of course, Hope's still with us. But there were more old timers that I could go to and talk to about these players and get their intake. We don't have that much anymore. You and I are kind of now that group. And so to do this list, we had to do it on our own knowledge and looking back at archives and stuff, because we didn't have a guy like a John Bibb who'd say, hold on, now you forgot about, so-and-so from 1936, which, it was 20 years before he was in high school, but he remembered him. But yeah, this is, it's not easy because we're losing so many of our experts. Thank goodness we still have a Ron Bargatze here in town to talk to about basketball, going all the way back to, 1960, not the 60s, but 1960. Ron's an expert, and Maurice Fitzgerald and some others like that.
Boots Donnelly be another one.
Absolutely, yes.
So you wrote something, I say you wrote something. I know you've from a social media standpoint, put some stuff out there. We're going to get the FCS title game in early January, and I think that's going to be a terrific addition to what goes on in our sports calendar. Right now, we've got it for 2 years. I think you wrote something that indicates don't be surprised if it's longer.
The people who solicited the game to get it from Frisco, it's been there 15 years, and it's in a soccer stadium. They're finally renovating that stadium, so they had to give it up for 2 years. Well, Nashville saw that chance. Basically, Scott Ramsey from the National Sports Council and Beth DeBush, the OVC commissioner, longtime OVC commissioner, and of course Scott's been in his position a long time. They went after it, and that could be bad for Frisco, because when Scott Ramsey wants something, he usually gets it. As you know, as we can see by how much we've got in this town now that Scott has pursued, the only things I can think of that we haven't got. It's easier to list the things that we haven't got, George, than the things that we have. And that was the Cup and World Cup and the SEC baseball tournament, which would have been nearly impossible to pry away from where it was in Alabama. So we've gotten pretty much everything we've wanted. And Scott went after this, got it for 2 years. And Scott and Beth both told me that the plan is to not give it up. They both want to keep it here forever. They want this to be the home for the FCS championship. And that doesn't matter what happens at the big stadium downtown with the Titans. And they would never move it to there, or likely not move it there. They feel like Vanderbilt's new stadium is the perfect size. And I'll say this, the NCAA agrees with them, because I spoke with the committee while they were at Opryland last week, and they think the new Vanderbilt stadium is the perfect size. They felt they had outgrown Frisco, which was about 20,000. So I think they want to keep it here and at Vanderbilt, not only for 2 years, but long term. And that's not speculation. I know that for sure, that the people who brought it here want it. Now, what does NCAA want? They want to see how it does here. It has some competition here, because there's a lot that goes on in this town, but this town also offers so much in terms of entertainment value and everything outside of sports for the teams to do, and their family and friends and fans to do when they come here. So if it works out and all that clicks, then I think they want to keep it here and make it like the Omaha of baseball for the NCAA, or Oklahoma City of softball.
Which would be awesome. Mike, let me ask you this. Could I go to a commercial break and then let Kelly and Billy take you up to the top of the hour, because I have Mike hogged, and I apologize.
You sure have.
Well, deal with it.
Absolutely. I can make it through the commercial for sure.
I love it. Great stuff with Mike Organ from the Tennessean. We'll go to the break, and then Kelly and Billy will take it from there. We'll see what direction they go on 94.9 The Fan. Attention.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2025 season. Create a summer of memories at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, and more. Tickets are on sale now.
I trained my entire life to be the best. I was one of the fastest women in the entire country. But woke politics made me swim against a man, sharing the pool and the locker room. That's not just dangerous, it's degrading. Thank God for Marsha Blackburn. No one fights harder to protect us. Marsha Blackburn will always stand for strong women, because she's one of us.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
I've been accused by Kelly Holcomb of being a mic hog, guilt charged. We went probably way too long on the top 50 athletes to ever come out of Nashville with Mike Organ from the Tennessean. So we've asked him in an unprecedented move to stick around for the entire 3 o'clock hour. Kelly, make it worth his while.
George, do you have any more questions is all I'm wondering.
No, I'm staying out of this segment. And I'm letting you.
I mean, I felt like I was on the big interview with Dan Rather. Good gracious.
Wow.
Hey, Mike, so tell me this, and I asked you this
too while we're at it.
Mike, tell me this. I asked you a couple of months ago, and you talked about the FCS and what they've done to bring all these different events to the Music City because it's an entertainment capital. And that's why I still don't understand. I guess there were some scheduling conflicts or whatever, but why the World Cup, who's coming here next year, just did not want to come to Nashville. I don't understand that. Like, this is a place, it's getting a little bit like it's not as big as Atlanta, obviously, but it's getting a little bit like Atlanta, and they know how to entertain people here. And it's the home of country music. I just don't understand what the World Cup was thinking.
Kelly, I agree with you, and I would say about Atlanta, maybe we haven't, passed Atlanta in terms of population space. But I think we're more attractive than Atlanta because I think that we've got plenty of entertainment venues here that you can still get to without the headache of. I know we complain about traffic a lot around here, but you can still make your way around Nashville and get to things and very interesting things of it, and get your entertainment value in without a lot of traffic like you hear in Atlanta. I know that when I covered the SEC, and that's been 20 years ago, I used to get coming back from Georgia, you'd get a traffic report at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning because I'd leave after a basketball game and just drive back to Nashville, and they were still doing traffic reports that late. We haven't reached that point. So I think we're more attractive than Atlanta. And to this day, I've never been given a reasonable explanation for why we did not get the World Cup. We had done so well with soccer from the get-go when we started trying to go after other types of professional soccer events, and we had gotten everything we tried to get. And I think that was a shocker. The baseball, the SEC baseball, was not nearly as surprising, Kelly, as not getting the soccer. I thought the baseball, everybody knew, that was going to be a tough get. And I don't think a lot of people are completely sold on it at the new Sound Stadium, that there was enough area for the RV and the tailgating over there. And I don't think that was a big surprise or a big letdown, but the World Cup absolutely was.
So the top 50, y'all talked about the top 50, and it got me thinking because y'all brought up Mike Wright, and don't ask Coach Donnelly about Mike Wright because he thinks he's the greatest athlete of all time ever. I mean, it's unbelievable. But let me ask you this. Is there a kid nowadays or a young man or a young woman now in today's time period that maybe, 20, 30, 40 years from now, we look on it and we say, hey, he's in the top 50. I mean, is there any kids or young men or women out there right now that, kind of fit that bill that you could see years down the road, people thinking, hey, they might be in the top 50 of athletes in the Metro or the Middle Tennessee area?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't, like I said, I hadn't seen the list. It's coming out. Right now, we're up through to the top 20. I know that Darius Garland was heavily talked about, and I believe that he's probably on that list. And he's 4 years removed from Vanderbilt, 5 years removed from Vanderbilt, and that's coming out of Vanderbilt after 1 year. So that's a young athlete, with just 1 year of college. So he's a modern day athlete that I think that fits the bill of what you're talking about.
This is a deal with me and with you because we're both middle grad. But George did we did the show up there. They did the show up there last week, and they've got this new building. And they've got a new coach. It's his second year. But does that building, because you have to be able to compete in the Group of Five now is kind of big too. I mean, they've got nice facilities, all these Group of Five teams. Does that help Middle? Does that move the bar for Middle any with getting people interested in the program, getting fans to the game? Because sometimes it's a ghost town now. You know that. And do you think that's going to move the bar for Middle Tennessee football?
I certainly hope it does, Kelly. And I had this conversation Monday with Mickey Allen, the athletics director at Tennessee State. We were watching Tennessee State practice, and he brought up the facility, the new $66 million facility at MTSU, which I was supposed to tour, but it came on the same day that the FCS championship committee was here. So I had to pass up the tour and go meet with those guys out at Opryland. But I look forward to seeing that. And I hope Mickey and I talked about, it used to be part of the arms race was to build facilities like this to attract student athletes, be it football players, basketball, whatever. You have to wonder if that's still the case because now, obviously the number one thing is to get cash. The players want cash. They want NIL deals. They want just straight handout payments. And so that has kind of supplanted the big stadiums and the facilities. So this is the first time we've seen one around here in a while. And our columnist, Gentry Estes, after seeing it, said, hands down, this is the nicest football facility now in Middle Tennessee, including the Tennessee Titans and Vanderbilt. So it's a question that Mickey and I talked about, and you and I are talking about now. Does this still bring players in? And I'm not sure it does, because it doesn't trump cash payment. And, now, right. Sure, maybe if it's down to two teams are bidding for you and they're both within $5,000 or $10,000 in their offer, one's offering you 60 or whatever, and the other one's offering you 65. And you say, hey, I see this new facility. I could become a better player with, a player that this could help me with my professional aspirations. That could be the tiebreaker. But I'm not sure it's the number one thing that you try to sell when a kid comes to your campus anymore.
Mike, according to John Glennon of the Nashville Post, I don't know if you saw this, but an analytics-based website said that Diego Pavia is the SEC's best quarterback heading into this season. And that's Sports Information Solutions, the Pennsylvania-based site. They've been in existence since 2002. There's certain people that would agree with that. I don't know about the best. I've seen him in some top 5, maybe, quarterbacks in the SEC. There's some people that have him lower because he didn't stay healthy all of last season. How do you look at Pavia in terms of the other SEC quarterbacks this season?
Bill, I look at it the same way that you just said. I see him in a top 5, but what I see is that he's still got to prove that. He's not proven he's the best quarterback in the SEC, and he's not doing it partly because we haven't seen the others. We don't know what Arch Manning brings to the table. We're not sure what Marcel Reed can do now that the offense is, exclusively his. He had to win the job last year. So I don't think anybody can say who the number one quarterback is right now. Now, you can throw it out there for, like I said earlier, about water cooler discussion, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with you if you say Pavia is the best. But the other thing Pavia has to overcome, and we've talked about this when you had me on before, is now everybody knows who Pavia is, and everybody knows what offense he runs. And these guys aren't dumb. They know how to put together packages to stop things like that specifically. So as he goes into the second year with people having figured him out, it could be very similar to what we saw toward the end of last season, which was some teams starting to shut him down and them going on a losing streak toward the end of the year because he wasn't as effective at the end of the year as he was at the beginning because people had film on him. So when he proves that he can be more creative, and that's what he bases everything on, is his creativity. So I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying he's going to have to do that, show that he's creative enough to come up with some tricks up his sleeve that others haven't seen, that he can still catch people off guard with before he can prove that he's the best.
Mike, the Netflix documentary Any Given Saturday came out yesterday. I've already got a couple episodes in me, and I know there's a lot of other people that have been watching it too. And there's a scene in episode 7, the last episode, I want to say, where Pavia just rips Tennessee. He said, F those guys, we can beat them any given Saturday, and just firing off. And that's who he is. He's a quote machine. Could this season come back to bite him and Vanderbilt at all this year? Or do you think there is a high floor to this team because of what they did last year?
Yeah, I don't think it bites them because I think Vanderbilt is unique from Georgia and LSU and Tennessee and even still Florida and some teams like that. They can get away with something like this. It wasn't that long ago that the big nose tackle from Vanderbilt said that to bring on Alabama for SEC and you're next. And Alabama came in, and not only did they run the score up to 50 or 60, they ran over that poor kid. And it was right there for his mama and everybody to see him just getting blown out of the gap and knocked on his butt in the end zone. But Vanderbilt was they didn't suffer from that. People talked about it Saturday night, and then by Sunday, it was over with. And that's kind of the way it is with Vanderbilt. Until Vanderbilt gets up into that upper echelon, they can get away with stuff like this. Pavia can say these kinds of things. I mean, if you want to get technical, you can come back and say, well, if you can beat them every given Saturday, why didn't you beat them last year on that given Saturday? Well, they have a little license to say stuff like that. Now, in most cases, they won't, because the kids are so well disciplined there. The coaching staff is so disciplined in most cases. The one exception was the year that Woody Woodenhofer was the coach there. But in most cases, it's a pretty, just plain and bread and butter offense. Culture, and you don't get stuff like this. But it's kind of refreshing to hear it. And I think even the opponents kind of like hearing it too. And it gives them some bulletin board material, which I personally don't believe in, but a lot of people do, that they normally don't get when you go up against the Vanderbilt.
Mike, unprecedented. Full hour of Mike Organ. It was great stuff.
George, I have another vacation coming up. So I need a little extra dough, so the overtime will be welcome. So just include that in the check, and I'll be able to enjoy that, and it'll make it all worthwhile.
Yeah, good luck on that. Are you on vacation next week?
I am on vacation next week.
Okay, so we'll have to adjust accordingly.
Well, this 2-for-1 makes up for it. How about that?
I like it. Listen, you have a good one. Get me a vacation while you're at it.
I will. I'll pick you up a T-shirt.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mike Organ from the Tennessean. Really good stuff today to get us going. A lot to put out there and digest, which we will do later. Stat of the day is next. Then we're going to talk about the Pac-12 or the Pac-2, 8, 9, whatever. Are they a factor in the future? Then we'll open up the phone lines around 4:25, and the question may come up, why isn't Clark Lee telling Diego Pavia to shut up? Look, I think internally they need some of that swagger. Externally, I'm not so sure. Stay tuned. This is 94.9 The Fan.
It's back to school time, and Electronic Express has you covered with the best deals on computers, printers, TVs, and dorm essentials. Everything to start the year off right, whether they're headed to middle school or off to college. Our team's ready to help you find the right gear. And with 24 months interest-free financing and free delivery, it's easy to check everything off your list. Shop in-store or electronicexpress.com today. We've got that.
Get ready for an unforgettable night where Nashville's spirit lifts its littlest hearts. Trinetics Rock the Cradle returns September 18th at the Pinnacle at Nashville Yards, bringing a private concert by country music's Tim McGraw. Exclusive tickets available at rockthecradle.org. Every moment powers hope for newborns and mothers cared for at the Beeman Neonatal Intensive Care Unit and the Ascension St. Thomas Foundation. Get tickets now at rockthecradlenashville.org.
You know what's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, expert technicians go beyond transmissions handling alignment, brakes, suspension systems, and even that stubborn check engine light. Take the guesswork out with a free performance check and honest recommendations, all protected by a nationwide warranty. Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, keeping Tennessee road ready season after season.
Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win back your life. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Brought to you by the Tennessee Gambling Clinic, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
It's back to school season, and Cromwell Media has teamed up with Souls for Souls to help a child in Middle Tennessee step into the new year with confidence by introducing Souls for 615. For just $20, you can provide a brand new pair of athletic shoes to a student in need. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes a big difference. Visit thegamenashville.com/shoes to donate now and be a part of something meaningful. Souls for 615 is presented by Mercer and 12 South. Go check them out for handcrafted cocktails, bold plates, great happy hour, and elevated hospitality. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Talking a little Pac-12 coming up next, but first stat of the day brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. You can find them in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to their website. That's applecollisioncenters.com. All right, we're going baseball today. Seattle's Brian Wu has 22 consecutive starts with 6+ innings pitched. Only 2 Mariners pitchers have thrown more consecutive starts with over 6+ innings pitched. Can you name them?
Well, I'm sure people are going to go with Randy Johnson, except I'm not convinced it's him.
That's my only guess, George. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he was a couple of days ago, wasn't he the answer too? So I don't think they would do that to us.
Probably not. Chris Bosio is one that comes to mind for me in Seattle. Trying to come up with a few others, and I'm going completely blank on it. Logan Gilbert, it would not surprise me if he gets there. I don't think Luis Castillo off this staff has. So you know what? I'm going to go Big Unit and Chris Bosio.
Big Unit is one of them, but Felix Hernandez is the other.
Felix Hernandez, wow.
Oh, gosh. Who
King
was
Felix.
a Brave for like a cup of coffee.
I remember that.
I remember him.
That didn't go real well. Good question.
No.
Bad answer on my end. Got to get Felix.
Well, we got Randy Johnson, though. I mean, we're one, we one of two. Yeah. We got half of it.
Okay, so we're now officially into the 4:00 hour. One of the interns got both of them right, and Alex is doing one of these.
Oh, really?
I think he's Sammy Sosa.
Tell him to
Although
save
I'll
it.
say this: Sammy's skin was whiter than yours.
Tell him we don't need any of that Jersey bravado, man. We don't need it.
No, we really don't. So we are now officially into the 4:00 hour. And I thought it would be a decent thing to bring up. Because right now, if you think about it, everybody kind of goes, depending on which way you want to lean, SEC, Big Ten are your two big conferences. I don't think anybody argues that. Then you've got this second tier battle where the Big 12 right now, to me, has outdistanced the ACC for now.
Head and shoulders.
And then you're like, what's out? Well, we know what happened in the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8, whatever you want to call it. It became the Pac-2 when Oregon State and Washington State were left kind of holding the bag. It really was not very fair what happened to them. They got dumped on while everybody else flew the coop. And so now the Pac-12, if you want to call it that, has reconfigured, and these are the schools that are going to be a part of this. So Washington State and Oregon State are in there, Boise State appears to be the school that has the best shot of representing this new Pac-12 or whatever you want to call it in the future. At the moment, they're the one that has the most national stuff. But they also don't have Ashton Genty anymore.
Correct.
Fresno State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Utah, Texas State, which I used to think was a prison, and Gonzaga, which is a basketball-only member of this thing. So, let me ask the obvious. Do you all see this conference having any real factor in anything in the future?
Heck no.
No. I do.
I mean, when Washington State and Oregon State is what you're hanging your hat on, no offense to them, and they had better football seasons last year than a lot of people expected, and they're going to hold up there into the bargain for football in the league. So will Boise State. Colorado State's not bad. Texas State, not terrible, but there's 9 teams. There's not enough depth. Basketball, I mean, you look at it, and I know we're talking mostly about football. Basketball might be better with Gonzaga, San Diego State, Utah State, Colorado State's been in the tournament a lot. I think we've seen a little bit of Boise as well. So, but football, no, I don't see this league doing much.
So, given that football drives all the dollars, what was the point of putting this together?
That's a good question. I mean, trying to be relevant, I guess. Trying to keep it together. I'm not totally sure. Just I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel, but the Pac-12, like you don't think about those teams. I mean, I know we're in a new era of sports, and we've said it over and over again about college sports, but it's really sad to me to think of the Pac-12 when I was a kid watching the Arizona and the Arizona State and the USCs and UCLAs, all that on watching baseball, because I was a big baseball guy growing up, and I don't know. You would think that somebody's going to come to some sense, but I guess that train has left the station and it's not coming back. And I guess they're trying to be relevant, but I just don't see how you do that again, George. I really don't. Like it's become the Power 4 conferences. It used to be the Power 5. I don't think this raises the bar to a Power 5 level anymore. Do you?
No, I think it's a group of 5 conference.
And not only will they will not be able to compete with the Power 4. They may have a team that gets into the playoff and scares somebody, but they're also dealing with poaching penalties. They still owe the Mountain West a significant amount of money in poaching penalties due to taking teams away from the Mountain West.
Now, supposedly that thing's going to go to court because they're contesting it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not over yet either.
No.
So they're dealing with outside stuff as well. And look, Boise State, San Diego State, that was those aren't chopped liver, when it comes to football, and basketball, but they're going to have limited playoff. I mean, one team out of this league every year is going to get into the playoff or have a chance to.
Let me try it a different way. In the next 5 years, do any of the teams that were in the Pac-12 look up and say to themselves, this is stupid?
Yeah.
This travel makes no sense. We're going back out west. Do any schools end up, because this feels like the one scenario where that could happen. For instance, where UCLA and USC get together and go, what the hell are we doing?
I would think the majority of them are thinking that. I've told y'all what I feel. You would think that somebody would come to some sense and the ADs would say, hey, football is a different animal. We understand. Y'all are trying to get the money. Y'all are trying to get on the big TV. Y'all are trying to get all that. Y'all go do your own thing, but we're going to bring volleyball, basketball, baseball, golf. We're going to bring all these sports back to the Pac-12. But with that being said, like, what happens to these schools that have gone into the Pac-12? Like, it would be interesting to see what the contract would be for all those schools. Like, if something does happen, can we bring the Pac-12 back? I just don't know if that's ever going to come back, George. I would think that somebody at some point would have some sense about themselves and we use this example all the time, the UCLA volleyball team going to play Rutgers. Like, they don't make any money. So that's costing an organization and an athletic department a lot of money just to do that. So you would hope that, smarter people would think, we can't keep doing this. We've got to have some sense of where we used to be and what we are, and let's bring that back. But I don't know if it can anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that we can blame the administrators at USC, UCLA, the other teams that left to join
Oregon and Washington. Yeah, Oregon and Washington.
I don't think we should be blaming them. I blame the Pac-12 leadership. They should have never let this happen, and because of their ineptitude, this is what we have. And they could not hold up their league. These teams said, okay, we're not gonna basically become a group of 5 school and hang around and just sit on our butts. We're gonna go, despite the travel and losing some rivalries and things like that, we're gonna go join a conference, compete and recruit. The recruiting is what was gonna fall apart if they stayed in this Pac-12. So I blame the Pac-12 leadership. That's why they are where they're at.
Oh, I don't agree with you.
Yeah, here's another thing, George, too, is we all know this is about money, but what do these schools bring that has, are they going, like Boise State's got a little bit, Oregon State, obviously Washington State, but and Gonzaga with basketball, but you have to have money. And do these schools, if they, because they've become they've become a new member of the Pac-12, do you think that's brought any more money to these guys?
Well, who knows? But think about this, guys. This move of Washington State and Oregon State being left behind, if you think about it, that's the first time a Power 4 team has basically been designated and sent down, in a sense. It wasn't necessarily directly, but we talk about that all the time.
Right. They were left for roadkill.
They were. And I know you talk about the group of 5 schools being left for roadkill, but this was the first time
a power schools.
And that dawned upon me. So we may not be as far away from this happening again to Rutgers, or because the Big Ten, how many teams they got? Is it 20?
They got 8. They got 18 or 20, right?
I mean, that's a lot. You start to get up to a certain number. Some other schools may end up leaving as well. So I just thought about that. I was like, that's a little crazy.
This feels like it's got a lot better shot in basketball. And the problem is the basketball doesn't generate the kind of money that the other does. You've got a Gonzaga who clearly, would be the bell cow basketball-wise of this conference. Utah State and San Diego State
really good.
Have been really good. San Diego State, in the last 3 years has played in the NCAA final. Colorado State a year ago in the NCAA tournament pulled an upset in the opening round.
Washington State's been solid.
Yeah. So Boise State has been pretty darn good. Basketball-wise, it's got a chance. Football, I don't see it.
Well, and we talked about the Big East. That's what the Big East is, right? That they are a basketball league. Can you, with the revenue share cap as a league, can you as a league put all your chips into basketball and still, you're not going to get to the level of the big football conferences, but can you hold up your end of the bargain enough in basketball?
I don't know.
Because San Diego State almost won a national title.
Sure.
So, if you get a team or two to compete for a national title every year in basketball, that's a lot of money for that team and for your league. So
is it enough? I don't know. I don't think so.
But George, do y'all think that's what they were banking on, though? Maybe making this like Washington State and Oregon State, obviously with football, and Boise State as well. But do you think that's what they were banking on? Maybe getting these teams together, maybe we put a little bit more emphasis on basketball.
I think when it's all said and done, this is all they could get.
Yeah, this was an effort to basically not die.
You know, if I'm the Pac-12, I'm reaching out to Memphis and saying, hey, come join us. Bring that $200 million. We'll split it up.
I'm with you on Memphis.
Yeah, because it's a basketball school. Now, let me go back on an issue I brought up a few minutes ago, because I want to make clear, I think Diego Pavia is the best leader that Vanderbilt football has had in a long, long time. I think he walked in a year ago to a losing mentality, a losing kind of attitude, and said, F this. Yeah. We're not going to be this way, and I'm going to see to it, and I'm going to demand something better. And I think they did that, and I think he did that huge. He has been, in that respect, an incredible positive. It infuriated me, absolutely infuriated me, when they did that stupid kickball thing with Sarah Fuller and tried to make her out to be some American hero for kicking a ball 8 yards. And then she had the nerve at halftime to decide that she wanted to speak to the team and tell them that she wasn't satisfied with their effort. And there wasn't a player that stood up to her and said, shut up.
Yeah, that was bad.
Not a lick of leadership in Vanderbilt football from a player standpoint for a long time. Pavia has clearly been that, and the results have been beyond anybody's wildest dreams. But I am asking myself the question, is it going a little too far? When he says they're going to win a national title, I don't believe that. I've never believed that. I don't, I got 60 years of proof that Vanderbilt football has never sniffed anything close to that. Now, does that mean it couldn't happen? No, but it sure seems highly unlikely. Then there's been this thing aimed at Tennessee and to a point aimed at Alabama. And I'm like, why aren't the coaches reining this in? Because I don't think this is doing their program any good. Now, you may disagree with that and say, no, they need more of that. They need more people mouthing off and saying, we're your daddy and all this kind of stuff. But I'm wondering, has it gone too far?
I told you yesterday, I thought it has gone too far. Now, and another thing, too, is if he wouldn't have had the season that he had last year and they don't beat Alabama and they don't have some upsets that they had, would he be talking this year? And I like you've got to have confidence. There's no question. In order to play the quarterback position at a high level in the SEC going on in the NFL, you better be confident in yourself. But sometimes that needs to be a quiet confidence. You do it on the field. I know some people talk, but it's just, we've got to do it for several years. That's the thing that I've talked to Mike Organ about, on the show. Y'all have heard it. You've got to do it more than once. And they ended the season 7-6, great. But now you got to back it up. And in my experience playing football, and I was a big trash talker as well, but I promise you guys, it puts a lot of pressure on you. Like, I've heard stories about Jordan and Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the worst, but he was great. But when you do that, you put a lot of expectations on yourself, and sometimes you don't live up to them, and sometimes that can be a detriment to you, and you can fall off a cliff. So it's just, I don't know. I'd just rather see him. He's said enough now. Now let's go play football.
Yeah, the Bussin' with the Boys interview was a little ridiculous, and I know the coaching staff was not necessarily pleased with that. Naturally, I mean, if you go back and watch it, there were some pretty ridiculous things that he said. I mean, the national championship stuff, the Heisman Trophy stuff, and I don't have a problem with that. Look, it may not be likely they win a national title this year or even anytime soon, but do you not want your quarterback saying we're going to win every game and I'm the best player in the country. And, I mean, what else would you want him to say as the leader of your team? And that's what Vanderbilt hasn't ever had, a quarterback as boisterous as Pavia. And yeah, he may go too far sometimes, but he beat number 1 Alabama, the best win in the history of the program. They went to Auburn and beat Auburn, beat Kentucky on the road, beat Georgia Tech in the butt. It's not like they went 3-9 last year and this is some joke. Like he's a guy that has produced.
Is that a deal though, Billy? Does he truly believe that, or is that a little bit of phony? That's just the false bravado. What I'm saying?
He's called himself psychotic, a psycho, but you have to be. I mean, you have to be at Vanderbilt. I mean, Clark Lee said it at media days in Atlanta when we were there. George, he said they want to be the best program in the country, and that he said at media days a few weeks ago that he believes they can play into January, and he said before that they were as close to 10-2 as they were 2-10 last year. So that Clark is that way too. That he sounds ridiculous at times to the rest of the country, but I believe that Clark and Diego believe what they say.
Well, now let me say this: Clark has toned down what he said a few years ago at the SEC football media days.
In terms of?
Well, when he talked about competing for national titles. To my knowledge, I haven't heard him utter that to any great degree since then. Pavia has. Look, he has had a huge impact internally because it was a loser mentality. It was we get to the fourth quarter and we're in a game. What do? We wilt.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has sort of put a stop to some of that. But at the same time, it's not like they went 9-3. They were 7-6. And while it was a great deal, it's middle of the road of the conference.
Yeah.
So,
and he said that too. He said, what expectations? He was asked about expectations at media days, and he said, well, I don't know. We don't have any expectations. We went 7-6. So you don't know what's coming out of his mouth. That's how he is as a player as well. You don't ever know what's going to happen, but it is who he is. That's the guy he is. And,
and there's a lot about it that's good, man. He will walk out of here having accomplished some things that have not happened. He's brought a leadership internally that they simply have not had. He is the reason for it.
Yeah.
Now, I hear other people giving the credit, but he's the one that backed it up. I just worry that he's gone a little too far with it. So I'm going to throw it out there. A bunch of you out there listening that like to comment on this kind of stuff, talk to me. I want to hear you. I'm going to be open-minded about it. I've kind of come to my own conclusions for now, but I'm open-minded enough to maybe change. So I'm going to ask, where do you stand on this? 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. I want red-blooded Americans who have opinions. No communism. You got that, Kelly?
I got it, man. I'm in on that.
Okay. Hit the phones. Oh, how do they respond by way of text?
Chat room open on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can look at that at the right of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. On your laptop, on your phone, you can just swipe up and type in any comments or questions you got.
I'm very interested to hear where you all go with this. This is 94.9, The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
Are you ready to begin? Trevecca Nazarene University, from calling to becoming.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back. I'm a tad bit disappointed because I thought we'd get more phone call response to the question that I put out there. And I guess I would like to hear not only from some Vandy fans, but also from fans of other schools, the opinion on Diego Pavia. I've kind of tossed it out there. I think he's been internally for them unbelievably good. I mean, look, clearly he's a really good football player, but I think he brought an attitude to a program that looked for reasons to quit in the old days, that had kind of a loser's mentality. I think he walked in and said, screw you. This is over. Not on my watch will it be this way. And to his credit, he's backed up a little bit of it. But in the last couple of months, it feels to me like it's gone too far and is just simply now bulletin board stuff for other teams. So I've asked for some opinions. I want to hear from some of you, red-blooded Americans who have opinions. 615-553-0933. Let's go to the phones. Tony in Nolensville, get us started.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And George, you're right. This is, I think, a major topic. But before I get started on that, and y'all remember I brought that same topic up yesterday about him, but I still have a little bit more to say about that. But, Billy, if you really did your homework and due diligence on doing a real good update with substance, Kelly, I know you like me to get on to him, but there was one little nugget that, and Billy, you know I was kidding with you there.
I got you.
George, the Braves and the Cubs just got through playing the Reds. Guys, the Reds have the longest streak, not the most current, but the longest streak this year anyway. They've gone now 36 series without being swept.
Wow.
It's the longest in their franchise history. And Eric knew that. He's never said nothing about it. But, Eric, if you didn't know it, I know you're listening. Now you got something to know about your Cincinnati Reds. But they've gone 36 series now without being swept this year. They're the last remaining team. And the current streak is the Orioles. That's got, I think, 84 series without being swept. I think it goes back to 2022. So just thought I'd throw that out there a little bit. And George, the Cubs pulled one out. They won today 6-1. So that's maybe they can get some ground, that lost ground back. As far as the Pavia thing, guys, let's go back. 2 years ago, he won beating Auburn at Auburn when playing at New Mexico State. That really pumped him up. So he comes here last year, and the previous years until last year, we knew where Vanderbilt's been in the tank. We've all seen it. We're fans of them. And he brings a new attitude, pulls off a super win against Virginia Tech, then turns around and does what he does against Alabama and throughout the season. And thus he gets put on this high pedestal by everybody, and including his attitude puts him even higher. So he's got all this confidence just oozing out of him. And I'm glad he does have all this confidence. And we all know it. We all know it's what it takes to be the quarterback of an SEC team. But you also got to have some smarts upstairs in those 6 inches between your damn ears to realize, you've got all the talent in the world. You can do so many great things here on the team that's really hadn't had your type of player here in a while. And you're now going and antagonizing other teams in the SEC. You need to remember it's the SEC for a reason. Why, George? It just means more.
It just means more.
Right. So before you worry about getting to the national title, you need to look at our record books, Diego. We had never gotten to the SEC title. So you need to remember those things. And you need to remember, I don't think, even under James Franklin, I know we didn't, do 8-3 seasons, and then we go on to be 9-3. We still didn't play in a New Year's Day bowl game or have been to Florida on a New Year's Day bowl game. I think it might have been back many years ago before George and I was born. So, but with those type of things, I think you're right. It just needs to be reeled in. Quit, we've talked about it. There's no more simple way to say it. Like Kelly said it, I've said it, George said, quit running your mouth, go play, let your mouth be your play on the field. It's that simple. And then let everybody else do the right and talk about it. But all you're doing is putting a big, what's that store? They call it, there's a lot of people call it Target, but it's Target. You're putting that on your back, and it's in the middle of that number 2. So he really needs to curtail that quite a bit. And the last thing I want to ask you guys, I don't know the answer to this. Back in April and May, Tannehill was being talked about going. The Vikings were thinking about picking him up. Did that ever happen? I'm going to let y'all talk about it. George, I get off of here. Good show as always. And one last thing. I'm sorry. The thing Mike Organ is doing is fabulous. It's unbelievable. I could only imagine what that task is like. But back many years ago, Billy, I don't know if you remember it. Y'all, George, you and Kelly might remember it. But ESPN did a special of the 100 greatest athletes of all time. And when they put Secretariat in there, which I think deserved to be there was a lot of controversy about when Secretariat was put in there as one of the greatest athletes in our history. So I'm going to let you go, guys, but let y'all talk about that. I know I threw a lot out there. Thank you, George, Kelly, Billy. See ya.
Okay,
Say, brother.
So he got us off to a good start. Anything he said you want to bounce on?
I like how he said reel him in. I think that's a good phrase. I don't think you sit him down and say, "Hey, Pavia, just quit talking in general, but let's reel some of the disrespect in. But we still want you confident. We still want your swagger, and we still want that spreading throughout the team. So I think you gotta walk that line."
George, what do you think Coach Donnelly would have said to me if I'd have went in the paper saying all that kind of stuff?
I mean, I think we both know where he'd have gone with it. But I will also say this, Kelly. That program needed some of that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I get it, man. I think he brought something that Vanderbilt needed. There's no question. And he's the guy that all the guys in the locker room now, they've played with him for a year and they trusted him last year. And now the trust is even further along. So I totally agree. The mouthing stuff and all that stuff going back and forth, man, I could do without. But hey, confident guy, and he played really well last year. And I think he probably had, when he came into the SEC, coming from New Mexico State, he probably had a little bit of reservation about, can I do it? But he found out he could, because it doesn't matter if you're 5'10" or you're 6'5". If you can play, you can play. Who cares?
Okay, Billy, give me a chat room deal, and then we'll go back to the phones.
Jeffrey says, I'm old school on this subject. Shut the trap and improve it on the field.
And to me, when I see that, I'm halfway there. I'm kind of shut the trap, but he's already proven it on the field.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
I mean,
to take that program, if you think where they were the year before and the level of improvement, and a bunch of it is him.
And he has backed. He hasn't backed up. He hasn't backed everything up. He hasn't won a national championship yet. He didn't win the Heisman Trophy last year. But all week when they played Alabama, he said only God knows who's going to win this game. People freaked out about that. And all week leading into Kentucky, everybody said, oh, they're not going to do it again. Hammer Kentucky. They beat Kentucky. Same thing against Auburn. He can't go beat Hugh Freeze again down there in the Plains. He does it. So he's backed everything up.
I think Jeffrey's talking about he did it once. He's got to do it again. I think that's what he's saying. That's what I feel about it.
Yeah.
By the way, they have to keep him healthy.
Oh, no doubt.
100%. And then there's the other side of it. Somebody texts in, as a longtime suffering Vandy fan, I think Diego's making it fun for us to be a fan.
Okay, and that is absolutely true.
That's a point.
Because for a good while, Vandy football was where fun went to die. I used to be. Woody Woodenhofer came up with a slogan one year: "Have fun, expect to win," and I changed it: "Have fun, expect to run." Because for a long time, not only was Vandy football not any fun, but it was scared, playing tight, run on 3rd and 7, no creativity. I mean, that's one thing. Their whole program changed.
They're fun to watch now.
They have become fun. They were fun a year ago. Of course, winning helps make you fun.
George
everything
on YouTube, Pavia has not gone too far with his comments. Take away the V, and this is normal trash talk. Pavia is a breath of fresh air. I'm going to brush my teeth to his comments about Tennessee each morning.
That's awesome.
Eric, line 2, you are next.
First of all, to Tony, I did know that. In fact, George, I don't know if you remember, I've actually talked to Danny about that. Told him that I knew that the Reds had not been swept by a team this year, and I was saying I hope they could keep it up. Because, in fact, I talked to them about the last series against the Dodgers. They had lost the first 2, and I'm saying I'm hoping they can, keep that from happening. I said I didn't know, but they were able to do it. So, I'm just happy they can keep it up. I'm just hoping they can finish the season as strong as they can. Now, whether or not they'll make the playoffs, I don't know, but I'm just proud of this team so far and what Francona has done with them. George, the thing about Pavia, and I have no dog in this hunt as far as Vanderbilt goes or anything like that. I heard that he did suffer and reported he had, and I didn't know, it, a hamstring injury last season that he suffered. So you're right. He definitely needs to be healthy. I've heard they've had issues with the offensive line, whether or not they can protect him. That's going to be another deal. And also, as far as the season goes, one of the things you would hope with all this, that the fans for the Commodores will turn out, and especially in the home games, where they'll outnumber the opposition fans. Now, whether or not that will happen, I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, you kind of like the bravado and his confidence and everything. But like you said, it is a matter of just whether or not this team will be able to back it up. But also, like it's been said, it is putting the target on the back, and you don't want to overhype the team too much. I mean, I do like the confidence and the bravado, but it's just whether or not they have the talent and other players with this team that's able to step it up. I definitely think they could have a winning season and have a bowl possibility, but I'm not going to say playoffs because I know he's talking about like playoffs and national championships. I don't know if I'd go that far, but we still see what we'll see coming up this season. But it's just going to be real interesting, guys. And I'll get off and let you talk. Y'all guys take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Eric, look forward to seeing you sometime at Sports and Social. That event we've created is right up your alley.
I think we lost Eric.
I think we lost him. Okay, we'll go to the break. Got a bunch of folks on the line who want to talk about this issue. I'll try to get to all of you next on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler. Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Your 2 total screw-ups of humongous proportions.
Sports. We're not living in an era where perfection is necessary.
They thought they were a championship contending team.
We told you not to do this.
Your sports live here.
ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, I've got 4 of you on the line as we welcome all of you back. We've gotten into the topic of Diego Pavia and has the trash talk gone a little too far. I'm going to ask each one of you on the line, give me maybe 2.5 minutes of wherever you want to go, and we'll try to rumble to get all of you in. Ben in Nashville, you're up first. Welcome.
Hey, George. I want to switch it up on you just for a second, talk NFL. Aaron Rodgers today said that he'd be willing to participate in preseason games. Does anybody really want that? If you're a Steelers fan or a member of the Steelers front office, are you rooting for that? And if you're on the coaching staff, are you even considering putting him in, even to get a feel with his new team? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me turn it to the quarterback. Kelly, that one does surprise me.
That's that's a tough one. And to me, the guy's track record kind of speaks for itself. And I would not, after the injury that he had 2 years ago when he started the season, I would not want to do that. You can get more in practice in these joint practices when you bring another team in than a preseason game. I know everybody wants to see him and be out there, but if it's me and I'm Mike Tomlin and I'm that organization, I would not let him play in the preseason. No.
Also, Aaron Rodgers looks over 100 years old in some of the drills he's doing. I mean, I know that probably doesn't matter, but doesn't necessarily look swift.
You get to that age,
Yeah,
how swift you are.
He's 41, and he's obviously fragile at this age, and like you said, he's got a track record of getting hurt and being out for a few games. So I wanted to ask y'all this too. Do you think, if we're looking back a year from now, do you think we'll say that he had a successful run with the Steelers? I mean, it's likely a one and done. That's what everybody's saying. So do you think he can make it through the season without any major injuries? Will we look back and say this was a successful venture?
The answers feel, Kelly, like probably not. Does he have an injury-free season? Probably not. But if they win a playoff game, which is certainly more than they've been achieving in recent years, then I think their fan base and the national whatever will say, yeah, it was pretty successful.
He's played for so long, George. He knows when to get rid of the ball. He knows that clock in his head that every quarterback has. He knows where to go with the football. And Mike Tomlin's track record. I mean, he's never had a losing season. I said it the other day. He won 50% of his games with Kenny Pickett, over 50% of his games. So I think he's in the right situation for him. We'll just have to see. It's kind of a wait and see. National Enquirer wants to know. We want to see how this goes. I think it could be good, but George is right. If they get into the playoffs and they win just one playoff game, they hadn't done anything since Roethlisberger left. So I think it's a plus for the Steelers.
It's January football. Rick on line 4. Welcome.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
What's up?
Well, first off, as a Steeler fan, I think Rodgers definitely has one more year left in the tank, and I think he can give us a successful season. But on the Pavia stuff, I think what he's doing is good if it's kept more in the locker room, but I feel like some of the stuff he's putting out there to public media, he needs to kind of tame down a bit and kind of focus on the main stuff, which is winning football games, and let that talk for itself, kind of like what other people have been saying on some of the calls. But I like where his head's at from a leadership and locker room standpoint. But my question is, do you think that there's a way to kind of dial that back in the locker room, or has he kind of said too much already that it's kind of, already out there, you might as well roll with it now?
I don't want him to dial it, and thank you for the call. Kelly, I don't want him to dial it back in the locker room. I think this is a program that has lacked self-esteem. I do remember when they beat Kansas State several years ago, and stupidly, when the game was over, they started this "we want Bama" crap. Well, a week later, they got Bama to the tune of 59-0. And so it's a program that has lacked self-confidence and self-belief. This guy virtually single-handedly has given that locker room that. I want it to continue internally. Externally,
Yeah, he's already won over the locker room, though, and those guys will go through a wall for him, and they may be saying, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing," because we're confident in ourselves and we're ready to play the season. So I don't think that's ever going to change the locker room, but there's old traditional guys like myself, like George, just tone it down externally. Internally, hey, be who you are. There's nothing worse in a locker room, and guys that play any kind of sport, guys and teammates know when somebody's phony, and he's not phony. He's not a phony guy. He's got some bravado about him, and that's why they won 7 games last year.
Jim is next. He's line 5. Welcome.
George, how we doing this afternoon?
We're doing good. I hope you are.
George, I'm doing wonderful. Here's my stance on the Pavia stuff. Die-hard Vanderbilt fan, but I want to come at it with this take. A lot of people are saying, hey, keep it in the locker room, don't put it out to the media. Isn't what Diego Pavia is doing the most red-blooded American thing one could do? Wasn't this nation founded as a nation of underdogs? Just a bunch of farmers taking on the greatest military complex in the world and beating them. Didn't we love seeing Tyson get knocked out? Didn't we love seeing NC State take down Phi Slamma Jamma? Isn't this what America loves? Whenever Michael Jordan talked his stuff, nobody looked at MJ and was like, man, tone it down. We venerated Michael Jordan. We love talking about how Larry Bird was a trash talker. We love talking about Magic Johnson. And I agree with another caller. I think it was either another caller or a poster. If you take the V off the helmet and he played for Oklahoma, people would eat this up and tell him to keep going. But I think not only should he keep it going in the locker room, I think he should keep it going in the media because, it's like Billy said earlier, this guy has talked not just at Vanderbilt, but going back to JUCO. And everything he has said to this point, he has done. I think he has earned the right to say whatever the hell he wants. I think he has proved it on the field. And as a Vanderbilt fan and as a college football fan in general, that's what makes the sport beautiful. I don't want my guys being all nonchalant and soft and being like, yeah, we just hope to have a good team. No, I don't care if they, in all actuality, they're a 2-10 team. Tell me that you have the confidence that you're going to go to the playoff. That's what I love. That's the beauty about the sport. And, hey, nobody thought America could beat Great Britain. Nobody thought that Tyson could get knocked out. Nobody thought the Soviet Union could lose in hockey. Maybe all of the stars and all of the pain that Vandy fans have experienced for hundreds of years, 100 years since the institution was founded, maybe, George, maybe it has led to this one singular moment in time to where instead of the hockey team taking down the USSR, the Vanderbilt Commodores take down college football. Who knows, George? As Diego Pavia says, only God knows.
Well, you're right about that. Now, listen, next time you do this speech, because it was really good, you've got to find a way to get the fraternity system in. Remember in Animal House where Eric Stratton.
Oh, last movie, George, yes.
And if the fraternity system, you got to get that in there next time. That was a good little speech. Thank you.
Hey, George, thinking about the fraternities, Revenge of the Nerds, Vandy, beat the big jocks. Why not again?
Hey, we got to run. Thank you for the call. Oh, that was hilarious.
That was. The Revolutionary War was brought up on the George Plaster Show. That's awesome.
Clay in Nashville. Clay, I got a couple of minutes, and that's it.
Thanks for squeezing me in, George. By the way, George, I will not forget Saturday. I will be there.
You will be there. Am I saving you a table?
Just me, myself, and I, George.
Okay, me, myself, and I like that. Okay, got it.
I'll sit on the roof if I have to.
Okay, that's big.
Anyway, yeah. By the way, a special hello to my friend, Mr. Holcomb. How we doing, Hoss?
I'm good, big dog. I'm good.
Good. George, I kind of agree with you. I'm like, I love it. Internally, externally, let's button it up a little bit. Has this guy, you're talking about a guy that this guy has put, Vanderbilt football, kind of on the map where it's not, the laughing stock of the SEC anymore. And I like that, being a passionate Vanderbilt fan. Now they got to go out on the field and prove it. That's talk is talk and, play is play. I mean, they got to go out there and prove it. But I kind of wish he would tone it down a little bit externally, because to me, it just, for instance, he's evidently said some things about the University of Tennessee in the last couple of days. And to me, that just only adds, fuel to the fire for those guys to knock his head off. And I've said before on this show that, the season, Vanderbilt going to a bowl game, Vanderbilt having a successful season, a lot of it depends on Diego Pavia staying healthy. So I kind of see both sides. I love it. Internally, I don't like it, in front of the media. That's just my take.
I got to stop you there. See you Saturday.
All right, we'll see you.
Plaster Bet of the Day is next. I know you all breathlessly await. This is 94.9 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Big Joe from my friends over at Busy Bee. It's August. That means it's back to school time. Listen, I'm a member of the Beehive Club. You should be too. Buy one for your family and gift one free Beehive membership to a teacher, coach, faculty of their choice. Listen, this is way better than a red apple. Just go to busybeehvac.com. busybeehvac.com. Become a member. You'll love it.
Busy Bee, yeah, Busy Bee. Call 775-7833.
Best Friends Animal Society is working to ensure that every dog and cat in the country has a safe place to call home. Home. Just like Superman, you can use your power for good. Join us. Visit bestfriends.org to adopt an out-of-this-world pet near you. Together, we will save them all.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Join CORE in turning tables for a brighter future. The Serving Up Hope campaign is a nationwide effort to support food and beverage service families when they need it most. Whether it's illness, injury, or natural disaster, CORE steps in to help families stay strong. And now you can too. Spread compassion, share hope, and serve up something that truly matters. Get involved today at coregives.org. That's coregives.org.
It's back to school season, and Cromwell Media has teamed up with Souls for Souls to help a child in Middle Tennessee step into the new year with confidence by introducing Souls for 615. For just $20, you can provide a brand new pair of athletic shoes to a student in need. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes a big difference. Visit thegamenashville.com/shoes to donate now and be a part of something meaningful. Souls for 615 is presented by Mercer and 12 South. Go check them out for handcrafted cocktails, bold plates, great happy hour, and elevated hospitality. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Final segment on a Wednesday. Time now for Bet of the Day, brought to you by Burt Durham Injury Law. We take a look at what happened last night. The Mets lost.
Yeah.
And the Tigers lost.
George.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Slump. And tonight, not many games. Most of them are day games that have already happened. I'm taking the hottest team out there these days, the Red Sox at home against Kansas City, because They are red hot. And until they're not, I'm going with them. Okay, last thing before we go. Somebody make my day. Email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com, and tell me you need a table for Saturday night for the Sports and Social Football Night in Nashville promotion. This particular one will be around the Titans Tampa Bay preseason game. When we get to September, there'll be Thursday night college and pro games. We're going to have a lot of fun there. See you tomorrow.